Yeah, so. Oh, what the fuck? Did my settings. Hold on. Am I still. Yeah, let's turn this shit right off. Never messing anything like that ever again. Are we good? Are we rolling? Oh, why am I? I knew it. I knew it. What the fuck? Why? What am I showing you? I can't see any of this shit good. We're having a great time. Everything's good. Everything's chill. And that shit happen. That's what I had it, and that's where I'll leave it at. God damn. Change is never good. Okay. I feel like I just went fucking hard on that. Oh, my controller good? Uh-oh. Ugh. I feel like my audio is still loading. Yeah. There you go. Go ahead and load everything. Yeah. Get all your textures in game. You're a big one. Wait, I keep ignoring this. I literally look at it every single time. These pots. They don't have anything. Cheated. I thought he died. Yeah, I don't know why. That seems better than doing the full attack. Yeah, pussy. Ah. See, the last attack doesn't do it. I don't like it for that reason. It looks like it's long range, but it's really not. What are you doing out here, you vandal? Damn. You're strong. Or I'm weak. Hello, new world. Dun, 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 dun. Hello? You think that's an issue? Oh, what the heck? That sucks. That ability is not for you. Why are there so many vandals? Oh, you're just praying. My bad. I thought you... For some reason, I thought that dude was doing graffiti. Oh. You're a thick boy. And you fought so well. But you couldn't. But you didn't even stand a chance. Oh, Simba, you've been here the whole time. You're a thick boy. You suck. Mana time. Oh. Mana time. Oh, these are meditation spots. How dare thee? So how far? I'm in here, young fox. I'm just a fox! I'm just a fox! I am just a fox. I'm not food. I'm just a fox! I'm just a fox! I'm just a fox! Holy shit, there's... Why the... Fuck it. Run down the middle. Like a fucking champion. I'm just a fox, bro. Please don't crash. I'm just a fox. Don't crash. I'm just a fox! No! Fuck! That's the rage attack! I did it. Hurry! Open the inventory! Damn it! Is it because I'm burning? Because we're fighting! Where the frick am I going? Okay, I realized we did not have my chest. I love you, bro. Dun, 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 dun. I got something to tell you. I love you. No, I can't open it. So what is this? Ah shit, is this the boss? I mean, obviously it's a boss, you know. Oh, it's this guy.
很久以前，我与金蝉子还是同门。他是个认真的人，看不得灵山从来祥光瑞霭，山下却遭着苦困天灾。他说：“凡诸众生皆有慧根，何以只有你我高高在上，其他人就只配磕头烧香？”我说，因为他们不如你我。后来，他犯了大错，重入轮回，又收了几个徒弟，可结果如何？徒弟死的死，逃的逃，连他自己也躲了起来。要我说，这些去取经的都是废物。信什么狗屁如来？不如我自己来。
You know, I feel like I missed the very crucial first sentence. Like I didn't. Oh. Of the future, my boy. Let me tell you, I came here just for the box. Damn, I feel like I literally did not have to dodge any of those. Oh, that's what he's doing. I was wondering, I was like, what in the world are you? Yep. No. What's going on? Game, please load!
本座的大宝正是为迷途之人准备，你且进去，勿伤于物。
Is this your stupid pagoda again? Bro, I am not doing your dumb pagoda. Bro, I'm in this freaking nutsack. What is this? What type of... I just want to do the Fox quest. I didn't know. Piggy boy! It's the stupid chief? Bro, we're all trapped in a sack. Why are you all fighting?
你这笨货也被那老贼抓到了。这大豹比以前邪门多了，竟养出了此等厉害妖物。估摸老贼借了大师兄的道行，把这破袋子又公布了一番。
Got a relic.
叶世上，先杀出去再说。
Oh, full strength, dude, you're fucked.
终生。 让我说，大声仇恨，怎么4个头在这小玩意？头大
What is it, Golden Ring? Oh, you're fighting a shadow over there? Okay. No. That's my bad, Piggy. That's my bad. No, my apologies, Piggy. I didn't know it was a back-to-back boss battle. Otherwise, I would have prepared myself a little better. Completely my fault, little piggy. Completely my fault. Not only did I go way ahead of myself, got carried away, I could have won it. Hold on. Hold on, Tiny. Yeah, that's Jamin, what's up? Hello? Tiny? Hello? Michael? Michael? Michael, what's up? Michael?
Hello?
Michael? Huh? Probably. I don't know. Those Shake Shack burgers are pretty big from what I've seen.
Really good right now, but
Yeah. And honestly, whatever you want, almost. I think Kava might be open. I think Kava might be open. Okay, what the? Okay, sorry. I'm talking to you, but I'm also getting beat by a fucking blind guy. How? I'm away from him. Bitch. I'm tired of you. Okay, just... That's what I get for changing my playstyle twice, back to back, immediately. I got used to one, and then I changed it, and I got used to it, and then I changed it back because I didn't like it. Yeah? Get it, Tiny? You have the Whataburger app, right? Wow, yeah, because I had...
there's still a lot of options on the way. We'll see.
Wow. Just grab whatever you want at the moment.
So freaking hungry, bro. You should be like all the whole 6 hours. Guacamole, chips, oranges, yogurt bites, more guacamole and chips. I'm just like, please, I just want to be full for more than 5 minutes.
Yeah. Hold on, you just turned my stream really sad. Yeah, let me mute the mic. Jesus Christ. I said, you...
杀后罚，无得无量。老差。
你要去寺里，我带你去。
将辟邪，妖灭罪犯。雷音圣地，不容外道。
This debate is interesting. So he I forget their attacks can go through. Why is he just staring at the wall? I just noticed that. I get where they are, but they gave her a soundbite. That was just something to say. Interesting. Okay, so he avoids internal affairs and deals with international affairs, because he's now bringing up the fact that foreigners have come into our country, made basically bad decisions, came in with force and aggression, people's been prisoners, mental asylums, stuff like that. So he's opposed to people migrating into society if they did something bad. Dying? Not necessarily, dude. Things just feel overall just fucking annoying to deal with. Interesting. Big. We don't make chips because philosophies they have. Interesting. Fire. Ice. I mean, sorry. What is he saying, bro? Now he's telling her my communism. He's calling her a Marxist. Millions and millions and billions. You like saying billions and billions and millions. You're not letting me finish my attack. Bad immigration is the worst thing that comes to our country. Y'all keep training. Y'all need strength from me. You want some, bro? What? They'll execute the baby at 9 months. That's a crazy statement. Execution after birth and abortion at 9 months is okay. Fuck. What is he saying, bro? What? What is he? Sorry. Wait, what did he do courage in? Easily, right immediately fact checked. Jesus Christ. There she goes again, it's a lie. That's automatically what he said. So now he's trying to do away with it. Okay, so she's just... Well, she's thinking that just because... It's not about unfair, it's about making it better. Filibustering? Filibustering? Yes or no, bro? Real-time fact-checking is hilarious. Who? Dude, this is embarrassing. Like, it is embarrassing how... Man.
I have been a leader.
You can leave it. You can leave it. Hello?
Oh, I thought you were talking about Simba. It's because I was streaming and I just put the mic back on.
Go. Now. Let me eat.
She's busting people in for her rallies. They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, they're eating the pets of the people that live here. What the fuck is he saying, bro?
I'm not on the same thing as you. I'm like way. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's okay, my reaction.
Simba, go.
Sink it.
Go downstairs.
Will end up being Venezuela on steroids.
I just want to clarify here. You bring up
Venezuela.
Springfield, Ohio, and ABC News did reach out to the city manager there. He told us there have been no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals within the immigrant community.
Well, I've seen people on television.
Let me just say here, this is
The people on television say my dog was taken and used for food. So maybe he said that, and maybe that's a good thing to say for a city manager.
I'm not taking this from
But the
television.
people on
I'm taking it
television
from the
say
city
their
manager.
dog was eaten by the people that went there.
Again, the Springfield city manager says there's no evidence of that. Vice
We'll
President
find
Harris,
out.
I'll let you respond to the rest of what you've heard.
You talk about extreme. You know, this is, I think, one of the reasons why in this election I actually have the endorsement of 200 Republicans who have formerly worked with President Bush, Mitt Romney, and John McCain, including the endorsement of former Vice President Dick Cheney and Congress member Liz Cheney. And if you want to really know the inside track on who the former president is, if he didn't make it clear already, just ask people who have worked with him. His former chief of staff, a four-star general, has said he has contempt for the Constitution of the United States. His former national security advisor has said he is dangerous and unfit. His former Secretary of Defense has said the nation, the Republic, would never survive another Trump term. And when we listen to this kind of rhetoric, when the issues that affect the American people are not being addressed, I think the choice is clear in this election.
President Trump, I'll give you a quick minute to respond
Yeah,
here.
thank you, because when I hear that, see, I'm a different kind of a person. I fired most of those people. Not so graciously. They did bad things or a bad job. I fired them. They never fired one person. They didn't fire anybody having to do with Afghanistan and the Taliban and the 13 people who's were just killed, viciously and violently killed. And I got to know the parents and the family. They didn't fire. They should have fired all those generals, all those top people, because that was one of the most incompetently handled situations anybody has ever seen. So when somebody does a bad job,
Dude,
I
this is
fire him. And you
embarrassing.
take a guy
When
like
some-
Esper, he was no good. I
That's
fired him, so he
further
writes a
attacks
book.
on
Another
Trump.
one writes a book,
Stop.
because
You're
with
not
me they
answering
can
the
write
question.
books. With nobody
We're
else
going
can
to
they?
Harris. Like, literally,
But
just has
they
to
have
talk.
done such a poor job, and they never fire anybody. Look at the economy. Look at the inflation. They didn't fire any of their economists. They have the same
No way.
people.
How did he
That's a
get
good
to that
way
stage?
not to have books
How
written about
is he
you.
in that
but
stage?
just to finish, I got more votes than any Republican in history by far. In fact, I got more votes than any president, sitting president in history by far.
Let me continue on immigration. It was what you wanted to talk about earlier, so let's get
Let me
back to your
continue on
deportation
immigration.
proposal that the vice president has reacted to as well. President
There
Trump,
we go.
you call this the largest domestic deportation operation in the history of our country. You say you would use the National Guard. You say if things get out of control, you'd have no problem using the U.S.
With local
military.
police, yes.
You also said you would use local police.
Ooh.
How would you
Oh,
deport
no,
11 million undocumented immigrants? I know you believe that number is much higher. Take us through this. What does this look like? Will authorities be going door to door in this country?
Yeah. It is much higher because of them. They allowed criminals, many, many millions of criminals. They allowed terrorists. They allowed common street criminals. They allowed people to come in, drug dealers, to come into our country. And they're now in the United States and told by their countries like Venezuela, don't ever come back or we're going to kill you. You know that crime in Venezuela and crime in countries all over the world is way down. You know why? Because they've taken their criminals off the street and they've given them to her to put into our country. And this will be one of the greatest mistakes in history for them to allow. And I think they probably did it because they think they're going to get votes, but it's not worth it. Because they're destroying the fabric of our country by what they've done. There's never been anything done like this at all. They've destroyed the fabric of our country.
And you can see why he's like ignoring like a lot of these questions.
All over the world, crime is down.
Yes, you can tell what his strategy is, but like you can see why he's like ignoring these answers. He's not trying to get into office. He's trying to get her out of office.
It's called migrant crime.
So he's playing that negative card to
nobody thought possible.
get her out instead of
the
putting
says
in.
overall violent
Wait,
crime
he's the
is
only
actually
one who
coming down in
keeps
this country,
saying
but
yes,
President
get him out, get her
They were
out.
defrauding statements.
Who the
They
fuck
didn't
is-
include the worst cities.
You
They
mean-
didn't include
You?
the cities with the
No,
worst
you
crime.
do, like-
It was a fraud. Just like their number of 818,000 jobs that they said they created turned out to be a fraud.
President Trump, thank you. I'll let you respond, Vice President Harris.
Well, I think this is so rich, coming from someone who has been prosecuted for national security crimes, economic crimes, election interference, has been found liable for sexual assault, and his next big court appearance is in November at his own criminal sentencing. And let's be clear where each person stands on the issue of what is important about respect for the rule of law and respect for law enforcement. The former vice president called for defunding federal law enforcement, 45,000 agents, get this, on the day after he was arraigned on 34 felony counts. So let's talk about what is important in this race. It is important that we move forward, that we turn the page on this same old tired rhetoric and address the needs of the American people, address what we need to do about the housing shortage, which I have a plan for, address what we must do to support our small businesses, address bringing down the price of groceries. But frankly, the American people are exhausted with this same old tired playbook.
Vice President Harris, thank you.
Excuse me. Every one of those cases was started by them against their political opponent. And I'm winning most of them, and I will win the rest on appeal. And you saw that with the decision that came down just recently from the Supreme Court. I'm winning most of them. But those are cases, it's called weaponization. Never happened in this country. They weaponized the Justice Department. Every one of those cases was involved with the DOJ, from Atlanta and Fani Willis to the Attorney General of New York and the DA in New York. Every one of those cases. And then they say, oh, he's a criminal. They're the ones that made them go after me. By the way, Joe Biden was found essentially guilty on the documents case. Now, what happened in my documents case? They said, oh, that's the toughest of them all. A complete and total victory. 2 months ago, it was thrown out. It's weaponization, and they used it, and it's never happened in this country. They used it to try and win an election. They're fake cases.
President Trump, thank you. A really quick response here, Vice President Harris, on this notion of weaponization of the Justice Department.
Well, let's talk about extreme and understand the context in which this election in 2024 is taking place. The United States Supreme Court recently ruled that the former president would essentially be immune from any misconduct if he were to enter the White House again. Understand, this is someone who has openly said he would terminate, I'm quoting, terminate the Constitution of the United States, that he would weaponize the Department of Justice against his political enemies. Someone who has openly expressed disdain for members of our military. Understand what it would mean if Donald Trump were back in the White House with no guardrails, because certainly we know now the court won't stop him. We know J.D. Vance is not going to stop him. It's up to the American people.
Vice President
stop
Harris.
him.
Thank you. Lindsay?
Vice President Harris, in your last run for president.
Biden won.
This is the one that weaponized, not me. She weaponized. I probably took a bullet to the head because of the things that they say about me. They talk about democracy. I'm a threat to democracy. They're the threat to democracy with a fake Russia investigation that went nowhere.
We have a lot to get to. Lindsay?
Vice President Harris, in your last run for president, you said you wanted to ban
That's literally what.
Now you don't.
Dude, he literally. That's hilarious you said that because right at the beginning of her immigration statement, she goes, and I will let you know this, he's gonna bring up immigration, even though it has nothing to do with the topic later. Bro, dude, you need to watch this
My
in the
values have
beginning.
not changed, and I'm going to discuss every one of the, at least every point that you've made. But in particular, let's talk about fracking because we're here in Pennsylvania. I made that very clear in 2020. I will not ban fracking. I have not banned fracking as Vice President of the United States, and in fact, I was the tie-breaking vote on the Inflation Reduction Act, which opened new leases for fracking.
Wait, why are we
My
talking about
position
fracking?
is that we have got to invest in
That's strange.
diverse sources of energy so we reduce our reliance on foreign oil. We have had the largest increase in domestic oil production in history because of an approach that recognizes that we cannot over-rely on foreign oil. As it relates to my values, let me tell you, I grew up a middle-class kid raised by a hardworking mother who worked and saved and was able to buy our first home when I was a teenager. The values I bring to the importance of home ownership, knowing not everybody got handed $400 million on a silver platter and then filed bankruptcy 6 times, is a value that I bring to my work to say we are going to work with the private sector and home builders to increase 3 million homes, increase by 3 million homes by the end of my first term. My work that is related to having a friend when I was in high school who was sexually assaulted by her stepfather. And my focus then on protecting women and children from violent crime is based on a value that is deeply grounded in the importance of standing up for those who are most vulnerable. My work that is about protecting Social Security and Medicare is based on long-standing work that I have done, protecting seniors from scams. My values have not changed. And what is important is that there is a president who actually brings values and a perspective that is about lifting people up and not beating people down and name-calling. The true measure of the leader is the leader who actually understands that strength is not in beating people down, it's in lifting people up. I intend to be that president.
President Trump,
Well, first of all, I wasn't given $400 million. I wish I was. My father was a Brooklyn builder, Brooklyn Queens, and a great father, and I learned a lot from him, but I was given a fraction of that, a tiny fraction, and I built it into many, many billions of dollars, many, many billions. And when people see it, they are even surprised. So we don't have to talk about that. Fracking, she's been against it for 12 years. Defund the police, she's been against that forever. She gave all that stuff up very wrongly, very horribly, and everybody's laughing at it, okay? They're all laughing at it. She gave up at least 12 and probably 14 or 15 different policies. Like, she was big on defund the police. In Minnesota, she went out, I'm talking now, if you don't mind, please. Does that sound familiar? She went out in Minnesota and wanted to let criminals that killed people, that burned down Minneapolis, she went out and raised money to get them out of jail. She did things that nobody would ever think of. Now she wants to do transgender operations on illegal aliens that are in prison. This is a radical left liberal that would do this. She wants to confiscate your guns, and she will never allow fracking in Pennsylvania. If she won the election, fracking in Pennsylvania will end on day one. Just to finish, one thing so important in my opinion. So I got the oil business going like nobody has ever done before. When they took over, they got rid of it, started getting rid of it, and the prices were going up the roof. They immediately let these guys go to where they were. I would have been 5 times, 4 times, 5 times higher, because you're talking about 3.5 years ago. They got it up to where I was because they had no choice, because the prices of energy were quadrupling and doubling. You saw what happened to gasoline. So they said, let's go back to Trump. But if she won the election, the day after that election, they'll go back to destroying our country, and oil will be dead, fossil fuel will be dead. We'll go back to windmills, and we'll go back to solar, where they need a whole desert to get some energy to come out of it. You ever see a solar plant? By the way, I'm a big fan of solar, but they take 400, 500 acres of desert
President
soil.
Trump, we have a
These
lot
are
of
not good
issues
things
that
for
we
the
have to get
environment,
to.
as
We're
she
out of time.
understands.
Thank you.
Lindsay, thank you. We have an election in just 56 days. And I want to talk about the peaceful transfer of power, which, of course, we all know is a cornerstone of our democracy, and the role of a president in a moment of crisis. Mr. President, on January 6th, you told your supporters to march to the Capitol. You said you would be right there with them. The country and the world saw what played out at the Capitol that day, the officers coming under attack. Aides in the West Wing say you watched it unfold on television off the Oval Office. You did send out tweets, but it was more than 2 hours before you sent out that video message telling your supporters to go home. Is there anything you regret about what you did on that day?
You just said
Anything you regret of what you did on that day?
Peacefully and patriotically, I said
literally
during
has-
my speech, not
That's the
later
same
on.
thing he says.
Peacefully
Oh, you're
and
caught up
patriotically.
to what you started.
And nobody on the
Yeah.
other side was
He literally
killed.
regrets it.
Ashley Babbitt was shot by an out-of-control police officer that should have never, ever shot her. It's a disgrace. But we didn't do this group of people that have been treated so badly. I ask, what about all the people that are pouring into our country and killing people?
Oh
That
my
she allowed to
God.
pour in. She was the border
She
czar,
just-
remember that.
Wow.
She was the border czar. She doesn't want
Can I
to be
have
called the
some
border czar because she's embarrassed by the border. In fact, she said at the beginning, well, I'm surprised you're not talking about the border yet. That's because she knows what a bad job they've done. What about those people? When are they going to be prosecuted? When are these people from countries all over the world, not just South America? They're
From
coming
January
in from
6th
all
to immigration.
over the world, David. All over the world.
So, I get it,
crime
you're
rates are
racist.
down all over the world because of it.
But let me just
when
ask
are those, David, when are those people going to be prosecuted? When are the people that burned down Minneapolis going to be prosecuted? Or in Seattle? They went into
sad,
Seattle.
bro.
They took over a big percentage of the city of Seattle.
Holy
when are those people going to
fuck.
be prosecuted?
They're literally
But let me
trying to
just
talk
ask
You might
about
ask her that
how
question.
You were the
released
president. You were watching it unfold on television. It's a very simple question as we move forward toward another election. Is there anything you regret about what you did on that day? Yes, sir.
I had nothing to do with that other than they asked me to make a speech. I showed up for a speech. I said, I think it's going to be big. I went to Nancy Pelosi and the mayor of Washington, D.C., and the mayor put it back in
There was
writing,
a
as you
shrine
know.
down here the whole time.
I
I'm
said,
glad
you
I
know,
didn't take it.
this is going to be a very big rally or whatever you want to call it. And again,
This is
it
a
wasn't
very
done
good
by me. It was
example
done
of-
by others.
This is a very
I
good
said,
example of
I'd
a
like to
being
give you
competent versus
10,000
a
National Guard or soldiers.
Yeah,
they
this
rejected
isn't
me.
even like-
Nancy Pelosi
I know
rejected me. It
nothing
was
about
just 2 weeks
what
ago,
she's
her daughter
doing,
has
but
a
how
tape
they're
of her
holding
saying
themselves
she is
up
fully
in this
responsible
debate
for what happened. They want to
is
get rid of that tape.
incredibly
It would have
at
never
the
happened
edge
if
of the
Nancy
scale.
Pelosi
Both
and the
of
mayor
them. On the
of
max
Washington did
extreme, I
their
was like,
job.
dude,
I
what is
wasn't
going
responsible for
on
security.
here?
Nancy
Thought she was gonna
Pelosi
get
was
violated.
responsible.
They
She
have a
didn't
lot
do
of
her
shit.
job.
The question was about you as president, not
he's
about
like-
former Speaker
When
Pelosi.
we're
But I do want
talking
Vice
about
President
after
Harris to respond here.
presidential stuff,
I was
It's
at the Capitol on
scary.
January 6th. I was the vice president-elect. I was also an acting senator. I was there. And on that day, the President of the United States incited a violent mob to attack our nation's capital, to desecrate our nation's capital. On that day, 140 law enforcement officers were injured, and some died. And understand, the former president has been indicted and impeached for exactly that reason. But this is not an isolated situation. Let's remember Charlottesville, where there was a mob of people carrying tiki torches, spewing anti-Semitic hate. And what did the president then at the time say? There were fine people on each side. Let's remember that when it came to the Proud Boys, a militia, the president said, the former president said, stand back and stand by. So for everyone watching who remembers what January 6th was, I say we don't have to go back. Let's not go back. We're not going back. It's time to turn the page. And if that was a bridge too far for you, well, there is a place in our campaign for you to stand for country, to stand for our democracy, to stand for rule of law, and to end the chaos, and to end the approach that is about attacking the foundations of our democracy because you don't like the outcome. And be clear on that point. Donald Trump, the candidate, has said in this election there will be a bloodbath if this and the outcome of this election is not to his liking. Let's turn the page on this. Let's not go back. Let's chart a course for the future and not go backwards to the past.
Let me just follow up here.
It was a different term, and it was a term that related to energy because they have destroyed our energy business. That was where bloodbath was. Also, on Charlottesville, that story has been, as you would say, debunked. Laura Ingraham, Sean Hannity, Jesse, all of these people, they covered it. If they go an extra sentence, they will see it was perfect. It was debunked in almost every newspaper, but they still bring it up, just like they bring 2025 up. They bring all of this stuff up. I ask you this, you talk about the Capitol. Why are we allowing these millions of people to come through on the southern border? How come she's not doing anything? And I'll tell you what I would do, and I would be very proud to do it. I would say we would both leave this debate right now. I'd like to see her go down to Washington, D.C. during this debate because we're wasting a lot of time. Go down to, because she's been so bad, it's so ridiculous. Go down to Washington, D.C. and let her sign a bill to close up the border because they have the right to do it. They don't need bills. They have the right to do it. The President of the United States, you'll get him out of bed, you'll wake him up at 4 o'clock in the morning and you'll say, come on down to the office, let's sign a bill. If he signs a bill that the border is closed, all he has to do is say it to the Border Patrol, who are phenomenal. If they do that, the border is closed. Those people are killing many people, like Jason.
We talked immigration here tonight. I do want to focus on this next issue of overview because it really brings us this into focus, truth in these times that we're living in. Mr. President, for 3.5 years after you lost the 2020 election, you repeatedly falsely claimed that you won, and many times said you won in a landslide. In the past couple of weeks leading up to this debate, you have said, quote, you lost by a whisker, that you, quote, didn't quite make it, that you came up a little bit short. Are you now acknowledging that you lost in 2020?
No, I don't acknowledge it at all. I said that sarcastically. You know that. When we said, oh, we lost by a whisker, that was said sarcastically. Look, there's so much proof. All you have to do is look at it. They should have sent it back to the legislatures for approval. I got almost 75 million votes, the most votes any sitting president has ever gotten. I was told if I got 63, which was what I got in 2016, you can't be beaten. The election, people should never be thinking about it. An election is fraudulent. We need two things. We need walls. We have to have it. We have to have borders, and we have to have good elections. Our elections are bad. And a lot of these illegal immigrants coming in, they're trying to get them to vote. They can't even speak English. They don't even know what country they're in practically. And these people are trying to get them to vote. And that's why they're allowing them to come into our country.
I did watch these pieces of video. I didn't detect the sarcasm, lost by a whisker. We didn't quite make it. And we should just point out here as clarification, and you know this,
Bro,
60 cases for the many judges, many of them
No judge
Republican.
looked at it and said they said we didn't have standing. That's the other thing. They said we didn't have standing, a technicality. Can you imagine a system where a person in an election doesn't have standing? The President of the United States doesn't have standing. That's how we lost. If you look at the facts, and I'd love to have you'll do a special on it. I'll show you Georgia, and I'll show you Wisconsin, and I'll show you Pennsylvania, and I'll show you. We have so many facts and statistics, but you know what? That doesn't matter because we have to solve the problem that we have right now. That's old news. And the problem that we have right now is we have a nation in decline, and they have put it into decline. We have a nation that is dying, David.
Mr. President, thank you.
What the heck?
不比他少，请落后。你虽拥有金蝉体质，可还是放下生胜。
Back to the debate.
Strong man. He's a tough person. Smart. Prime Minister of Hungary. They said, why is the whole world blowing up? 3 years ago it wasn't. Why is it blowing up? He said, because you need Trump back as president. They were afraid of him. China was afraid, and I don't like to use the word afraid, but I'm just quoting him. China was afraid of him. North Korea was afraid of him. Look at
You're
what's
my
going on
friend
with North
now.
Korea, by the way. He said Russia was afraid of him. I ended the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, and Biden put it back on day one, but he ended the XL pipeline. The XL pipeline in our country, he ended that. But he let the Russians build a pipeline going all over Europe and heading into Germany, the biggest pipeline in the world. Look, Viktor Orban said it. He said the most respected, most feared person is Donald Trump. We had no problems when Trump was president. But when this weak, pathetic man that you saw at a debate just a few months ago, that if he won in that debate, he'd be running on Senate Bush. He got no votes. He got 14 million votes. You talk about a threat to democracy. He got 14 million votes, and they threw him out of office. And you know what? I'll give you a little secret. He hates her. He can't stand her. But he got 14 million votes. They threw him out. She got 0 votes. And when she ran, she was the first one to leave because she failed. And now she's running. I don't understand it, but I'm okay with it because
your time is
I think we're going to do very well.
我让你杀得更畅快
hostages who are
些。
still being held, Americans among them. Vice President Harris, in December, you said, quote, Israel has a right to defend itself, but you added, quote, it matters how, saying international humanitarian law must be respected. Israel must do more to protect innocent civilians. You said that 9 months ago. Now an estimated 40,000 Palestinians are dead. Nearly 100 hostages remain. Just last week, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said there's not a deal in the making. President Biden has not been able to break through the stalemate. How would you do it?
Well, let's understand how we got here. On October 7, Hamas, a terrorist organization, slaughtered 1,200 Israelis.
I don't want to.
Many of them young people who were simply attending a concert. Women were horribly raped. And so absolutely, I said then, I say now, Israel has a right to defend itself. We would. And how it does so matters. Because it is also true, far too many innocent Palestinians have been killed. Children, mothers. What we know is that this war must end. It must end immediately, and the way it will end is we need a ceasefire, we need the hostages set. And so we will continue to work around the clock on that. Work around the clock, also understanding that we must chart a course for a two-state
I'm not
solution.
like that. I
And
killed the
in
first
that
two only to
solution,
try it.
there
That's,
must
you
be
know, I'm not gonna lie.
security for the Israeli people and Israel, and in equal measure for the Palestinians. But the one thing I will assure you always, I will always give Israel the ability to defend itself, in particular as it relates to Iran and any threat that
yes, I
Iran
have a
and
dash.
its proxies pose to Israel. But we must have a two-state solution where we can rebuild Gaza, where the Palestinians have security, self-determination, and the dignity they so rightly deserve.
President Trump, how would you negotiate with Netanyahu? also Hamas in order to get the hostages out and prevent the killing of more innocent civilians in Gaza.
If I were president, it would have never started. If I were president, Russia would have never, ever, I know Putin very well, he would have never, and there was no threat of it either, by the way, for 4 years, have gone into Ukraine and killed millions of people.
The only thing I feel
worse than people understand what's going on there. But when she mentions about Israel, all of a sudden, she hates Israel. She didn't even meet with Netanyahu when he went to Congress to make a very important speech. She refused to be there because she was at a sorority party of hers. She wanted to go to the sorority party. She hates Israel. If she's president, I believe that Israel will not exist within 2 years from now. And I got pretty good at predictions. I hope we're wrong on that one. She hates Israel.
Fuck that stupid ass dust you got, boy.
Population, because the whole place.
What did I do wrong?
Arabs, Jewish people, Israel will be gone. It would have never happened. Iran was broke under Donald Trump. Now Iran has $300 billion because they took up all the sanctions that I had. Iran had to for Hamas or Hezbollah or any of the 28 different spheres of terror. And they are spheres of terror. They had no money. It was a big story, and you know it. You covered it very well, actually. They had no money for terror. They were broke. Now they're a rich nation, and now what they're doing is they're spreading that money around.
What? Oh.
Look at what's happening with the Houthis and Yemen. Look at what's going on in the Middle East. This would have never happened. I will get that settled as fast as I get the war with Ukraine and Russia ended. If I'm president-elect, I'll get it done before even becoming president.
As President Harris, he says you hate Israel.
That's absolutely not true. I have my entire career and life supported Israel and the Israeli people. He knows that. He's trying to, again, divide and distract from the reality, which is it is very well known that Donald Trump is weak and wrong on national security and foreign policy. It is well known that he admires dictators, wants to be a dictator on day one, according to himself. It is well known that he said of Putin that he can do whatever the hell he wants and go into Ukraine. It is well known that he said when Russia went into Ukraine, it was brilliant. It is well known he exchanged love letters with Kim Jong-un. And it is absolutely well known that these dictators and autocrats are rooting for you to be president again because they're so clear. They can manipulate you with flattery and favors. And that is why so many military leaders who you have worked with have told me you are a disgrace. That is why we understand that we have to have a president who is not consistently weak and wrong on national security, including the importance of holding, respecting, and empowering our military.
Vice President Harris, thank you.
And she's the one that caused it. That's weak on national security by allowing every nation last month for the year, more than 60 countries sending people into our country. Their crime rates are way down. Putin endorsed her last week, said, I hope she wins, and I think he meant it. Because what he's gotten away with is
oh, no way, that was an no way! I thought it was a fucking cutscene.
And incompetent, and they are. They're grossly incompetent. And I just ask one question. Why does Biden go in and kill the Keystone Pipeline and approve the single biggest deal that Russia's ever made, Nord Stream 2, the biggest pipeline anywhere in the world going to Germany and all over Europe? Because they're weak and they're ineffective. And Biden, by the way, gets paid a lot of money.
Thank you. We have a lot of issues to get to.
We'll be right back with much more of this historic ABC News presidential debate from the National Constitution Center right here in Philadelphia.
No! Americans don't line up for this. Yo, that is me, bitch. Yeah, go ahead.
Pennsylvania every weeknight. 看看我这大雄宝殿，难道我的名山气派？Top story with streaming weeknights at 7 on NBC News.
We're
back with tonight's debate between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump.
We'll be in a minute to join us for an analysis of tonight's key moments. Our team will break down how it could shake up the final sprint to Election Day. For now, though, let's go back to the debate live in Philadelphia.
Live from the National Constitution Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
No way, again?
Here again,
oh.
David York and Lindsay.
Oh yes, again. I didn't even take damage.
Presidential debate tonight. We're going to continue here, and I want to turn to Ukraine. We're now 2.5 years into this conflict. Mr. President, it has been the position of the Biden administration that we must defend Ukraine from Russia, from Vladimir Putin, to defend their sovereignty and democracy, but it's in America's best interest to do so, arguing that if Putin wins, he may be emboldened or even able to do other countries. You have said you would solve this war in 24 hours. You said so just before the debate tonight. How exactly will you do that? And I want to ask you a very simple question tonight. Do you want Ukraine to win this war?
I want the war to stop. I want to save lives that are being uselessly, people being killed by the millions. It's so much worse than the numbers that you're getting.
Fucking dumb, bro.
Look, we're in for 250 billion or more because they don't ask Europe, which is a much bigger beneficiary to getting this thing done than we are. They're in for $150 billion less because Biden and you don't have the courage to ask Europe like I did with NATO. They paid billions and billions, hundreds of billions of dollars when I said, either you pay up or we're not going to protect you anymore. So that's maybe one of the reasons they don't like me as much as they like weak people. But you take a look at what's happening. We're in for 250 to 275 billion. They should be forced to equalize. With that being said, I want to get the war settled. I know Zelensky very well, and I know Putin very well. I have a good relationship, and they respect your president, okay? They respect you. They don't respect Biden. How would you respect him? Why? For what reason? He hasn't even made a phone call in 2 years to Putin. He hasn't spoken to anybody. They don't even try it.
Shut up.
That is a war that's dying to be settled. I will get it settled before I even become president. If I win, when I'm president-elect, and what I'll do is I'll speak to one, I'll speak to the other, I'll get them together. That war would have never happened. And in fact, when I saw Putin after I left, unfortunately left because our country has gone to hell. But after I left, when I saw him building up soldiers, he did it after I left. I said, oh, he must be negotiating. It must be a good, strong point of negotiation. Well, it wasn't, because Biden had no idea how to talk to him. He had no idea how to stop it. And now you have millions of people dead, and it's only getting worse. It could lead to World War III. Don't kid yourself, David. We're playing with World War III, and we have a president that we don't even know if he's... Where is our president? We don't even know if he's a president.
And just to clarify,
they threw him out of a campaign like a dog. We don't even know. Is he our president? But we have a president that doesn't know he's alive.
Your time is up. Just to clarify the question, do you believe it's in the U.S. best interest for Ukraine to win this war?
He's talking about Biden, we're talking about Richmond,
Just get it done. Negotiate a deal. Because we have to stop all of these human lives from being destroyed.
I want to take this to Vice President Harris. I want to give you thoughts on our support for Ukraine in this moment. But also, as Commander-in-Chief, if elected, how would you deal with Vladimir Putin, and would it be any different from what we're seeing from President Putin?
Well, first of all, it's important to remind the former president you're not running against Joe Biden, you're running against me. I believe the reason that Donald Trump says that this war would be over within 24 hours is because he would just give it up. And that's not who we are as Americans. Let's understand what happened here. I actually met with Zelensky a few days before Russia invaded tried through force to change territorial boundaries, to defy one of the most important international rules and norms, which is the importance of sovereignty and territorial integrity. And I met with President Zelensky. I shared with him American intelligence about how he could defend himself. Days later, I went to NATO's eastern flank, to Poland and Romania.
You know what I want to do? I want to use
The work
this.
that our officers did, we brought 50 countries together to support Ukraine in its righteous defense. And because of our support, because of the air defense, the ammunition, the artillery, the javelins, the Abrams tanks that we have provided, Ukraine stands as an independent and free country. If Donald Trump were president, Putin would be sitting in Kyiv right now. And understand what that would mean, because Putin's agenda is not just about Ukraine. Understand why the European allies and our NATO allies are so thankful that you are no longer president, and that we understand the importance of the greatest military alliance the world has ever known, which is NATO, and what we have done to preserve the ability of Zelensky and the Ukrainians to fight for their independence.
The fat mug feds spoke too
Putin would
much.
be sitting in Kyiv with
Just
his
run
eyes
them
on the
hands,
rest
bro.
of Europe,
That's all they care
starting with
about.
Poland. And why don't you tell the 800,000 Polish Americans right here in Pennsylvania how quickly you would give up for the sake of favor and what you think is a friendship with what is known to be a dictator who would eat you for lunch.
Vice President Harris, thank you. We've heard from both of you on Ukraine tonight. Afghanistan came up in the last hour. I wanted her to respond to something you said earlier.
Hey, it's the bird.
Please, I'll give you a minute here.
Putin would be sitting in Moscow, and he wouldn't have lost 300,000 men and women, but he would have been sitting in Moscow, quiet please. He would have been sitting in Moscow much happier than he is right now. But eventually, you know, he's got a thing that other people don't have. He's got nuclear weapons. They don't ever talk about that. He's got nuclear weapons. Nobody ever thinks about that. And eventually, maybe he'll use them, and maybe he hasn't been that threatening. But he does have that. Something we don't even like to talk about. Nobody likes to talk about it. But just so you understand, they sent her to negotiate peace before this war started. 3 days later, he went in and he started the war because everything they said was weak and stupid. They said the wrong things. The war should have never started. She was the emissary. They sent her in to negotiate with Zelensky and Putin, and she did. And the war started 3 days later. And that's the kind of talent we have with her. She's worse than Biden. In my opinion, I think he's the worst president in the history of our country. She goes down as the worst vice president in the history of our country. But let me tell you something. She is a horrible negotiator. They sent her in to negotiate. As soon as they left, Putin did the invasion.
President Trump, thank you. You did bring up something. You said she went to negotiate with Vladimir Putin. Vice President Harris, have you ever met Vladimir Putin? Can you clarify tonight?
Yet again, I said at the beginning of this debate, you're going to hear a bunch of lies coming from this fellow. And that is another one. When I went to meet with President Zelensky, I've now met with him over 5 times. The reality is, it has been about standing as America always should, as a leader, upholding international rules and norms, as a leader who shows strength, understanding that the alliances we have around the world are dependent on our ability to look out for our friends and not favor our enemies because you adore strongmen instead of caring about democracy. And that is very much what is at stake here. The President of the United States is Commander-in-Chief, and the American people have a right to rely on a president who understands the significance of America's role and responsibility in terms of ensuring that there is stability and ensuring we stand up for our principles and not sell them for the benefit of personal flattery.
We talked about Ukraine and Vladimir Putin. I do want to talk about Afghanistan. It came up in the first hour of this debate. I want to move on to Afghanistan.
Said Trump did the most amazing thing I've ever seen. He got these countries, the 28 countries at the time, to pay up. He said, I've never seen, he's the head of NATO. He said, I've never seen. For years, we were paying almost all of NATO. We were being ripped off by European nations, both on trade and on NATO. I got them to pay up by saying one of the statements you made before, if you don't pay, we're not going to protect you. Otherwise, we would have never gotten it. He said it was one of the most incredible jobs that he's ever seen done.
Thank you. I want to turn to Afghanistan. It came up in the first hour of the debate, and we witnessed a poignant moment today on Capitol Hill, honoring the soldiers who died in the chaotic withdrawal from Afghanistan. I do want to ask the Vice President, do you believe you bear any responsibility in the way that withdrawal played out?
Well, I will tell you, I agreed with President Biden's decision to pull out of Afghanistan. 4 presidents said they would, and Joe Biden did. And as a result, America's taxpayers are not paying the $300 million a day we were paying for that endless war. And as of today, there is not one member of the United States military who is in active duty in a combat zone in any war zone around the world, the first time this century. But let's understand how we got to where we are. Donald Trump, when he was president, negotiated one of the weakest deals you can imagine. He calls himself a deal maker. Even his national security advisor said it was a weak, terrible deal. And here's how it went down. He bypassed the Afghan government. He negotiated directly with a terrorist organization called the Taliban. The negotiation involved the Taliban getting 5,000 Taliban terrorists released. And get this, and the president at the time invited the Taliban to Camp David, a place of storied significance for us as Americans, a place where we honor the importance of American diplomacy, where we invite and receive respected world leaders. And this
Somebody's gonna kill him.
former president, as president, invited them to Camp David because he does not again appreciate the role and responsibility of the President of the United States to be Commander-in-Chief with a level of respect. And this gets back to the point of how he has consistently disparaged and demeaned
And then no one cares, they're just gonna rip them apart.
fallen soldiers, and the work that we must do to uphold the strength and the respect of the United States of America around the world.
Vice President Harris, thank you. President Trump, your response to her saying he had the negotiations.
Oh God.
If you take a look at that period of time, the Taliban was killed.
Oh God, that was the lizard. The snake. Wait, that was a snake? No.
师兄此番下界，倒是去了好久。说人话。
这回我又赢了，金蝉子。
祸乱人心，道果为因。师兄如此执着输赢，可笑，可悲。
若不能赢，还长什么因果人心？
If not for winning, what is the point of the meeting?
Killing our soldiers.
Anyways, back
a
to
lot
this
of them
dumb
with
shit. Oh,
snipers.
never mind.
自封齐天，那四庆童儿却敢自立宗庙，自封世尊。亏得你佛心坚忍，勇猛无惧，竟抵住了他的引诱。那些个星君魔将、高僧大能，一个个乱了性情，坏了道心，真是因为放不下心中的偶像。
Did I do good?
你一路迎霜冒雪，可曾嗅到使人痴心破灭的味道？
A little bit. This smells like chicken fries. Hey. Ah.
雪山大士舍全身求半计，故能证成佛果。不似这般，怎能当得鼻祖？天生圣人若不敬天，孤高自傲，任意妄为，那又何来四海升平，三界清净？
Wow, not profound.
没人知道他究竟在想什么。
What, that's it?
「北方有个真武，号荡魔天尊。昔年奉玉帝敕旨，剪发天下妖邪，龟蛇二将乃其左右侍从。
No, I was just getting to the good part here.
不再能和谐，
So I had to listen.
真武徒胜西冥。
We'll go out by the into the apartment too.
Okay, thank you. I was like,
And I'll go work on
日
my
指经书令，父子反目成仇。
I'll be in the days with Shay.
他誓不与妖为伍，愤而离家，再也没提起。如今因旧业落困牢狱，才又念起故乡。可没了故人，又哪儿有故乡？
wake up at 5, dumb. Oh no, that's way too late. No, if you send my sheets at 5:16, yeah, it's up. Oh yeah, forgot about this fucking dumb shit.
Snipers. And I got involved with the Taliban because the Taliban was doing the killing. That's the fighting force within Afghanistan. They don't bother doing that because, you know, they deal with the wrong people all the time. But I got involved. And Abdul is the head of the Taliban. He is still the head of the Taliban. And I told Abdul, don't do it anymore. You do it anymore, you're going to have problems. And he said, why do you send me a picture of my house? I said, you're going to have to figure that out, Abdul. And for 18 months, we had nobody killed. We did have an agreement negotiated by Mike Pompeo. It was a very good agreement. The reason it was good, it was we were getting out. We would have been out faster than them, but we wouldn't have lost the soldiers. We wouldn't have left many Americans behind, and we wouldn't have left $85 billion worth of brand new, beautiful military equipment behind. And just to finish, they blew it. The agreement said you have to do this, and they didn't do it. They didn't do it. The agreement was terminated by us because they didn't do what they were supposed to do.
I want to move on.
And these people...
I want to move on.
And in my opinion, the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. And by the way, that's why Russia attacked
Rosy
Ukraine.
cheeks,
Because
gray
they saw
hair.
how incompetent she and her boss are.
President Trump, thank you. I want to move on now to race and politics in this country. Mr. President, you recently said of Vice President Harris, quote, I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. I want to ask a bigger picture question here tonight. Why do you believe it's appropriate to weigh in on the racial identity of your opponent?
I don't, and I don't care. I don't care what she is. I don't care. You make a big deal out of something, I couldn't care less. Whatever she wants to be is okay with me.
But those were your words, so I'm asking...
I don't know. I mean, all I can say is I read where she was not black, that she put out, and I'll say that. And then I read that she was black, and that's okay. Either one was okay with me. That's up to her. That's up to her.
Up to
Vice
her.
President Harris, your thoughts on this?
I think it's, I mean, honestly, I think it's a tragedy that we have someone who wants to be president who has consistently, over the course of his career, attempted to use race to divide the American people. You know, I do believe that the vast majority of us know that we have so much more in common than what separates us, and we don't want this kind of approach that is just constantly trying to divide us, and especially by race. And let's remember how Donald Trump started. He was land, he owned buildings, and he was investigated because he refused to rent property to black families. Let's remember, this is the same individual who took out a full-page ad in the New York
Where the heck are we?
calling for the execution of 5 young black and Latino boys who were innocent.
Big orangutan.
Full-page ad calling for their execution. This is the same individual who spread further lies about the first black president of the United States. And I think the American people want better than that. Want better than this. Want someone who understands, as I do, I travel our country. We see in each other a friend. We see in each other a neighbor. We don't want a leader who is constantly trying to have American citizens. I meet people all the time who tell me, can we please just have discourse about how we're going to invest in the aspirations and the ambitions and the dreams or the language their grandmother speaks. We all have
It was him.
aspirations and want a president who invests
Why is my audio
in
off?
not in hate and division.
Vice President Harris, thank you. Lindsay?
President Trump, this is now your 3rd time.
This is the most divisive presidency in the history of our country. There's never been anything like it. They're destroying our country, and they come up with things like what she just said. Go back many, many years, when a lot of people, including Mayor Bloomberg, agreed with me on the Central Park 5. They admitted it. They said they pled guilty. I said, well, if they pled guilty, they badly hurt a person, killed a person ultimately. And if they pled guilty, then they pled, we're not guilty. But this is a person that has to stretch back years, 40, 50 years ago, because there's nothing now. I built one of the greatest economies in the history of the world, and I'm going to build it again. It's going to be bigger, better, and stronger. But they're destroying our economy. They have no idea what a good economy is. Their oil policies, every single policy. And remember this, she is Biden. There, she's trying to get away from Biden. I don't know the gentleman, she says. She is Biden. The worst inflation we've ever had, a horrible economy because inflation has made it so bad, and she can't get away with that.
Thank you. Your time's up, Lindsay.
I want to respond to that, though. I want to just respond briefly. Clearly, I'm not Joe Biden, and I am certainly not Donald Trump. And what I do offer is a new generation of leadership for our country. One who believes in what is possible, one who brings a sense of optimism about what we can do instead of always disparaging the American people. I believe in what we can do to strengthen our small businesses, which is why I have a plan. Let's talk about our plans and let's compare the plans. I have a plan to give startup businesses $50,000 tax deduction, to pursue their ambitions, their innovations, their ideas, their hard work. I have a plan, $6,000 for young families for the first year of your child's life, to help you in that most critical stage of your child's development. I have a plan that is about allowing people to be able to pursue what has been fleeting in terms of the American dream by offering help with down payment of $25,000 down payment assistance for first-time home buyers. That's the kind of conversation, I believe, David, that people really want tonight, as opposed to a conversation that is constantly about belittling and main call. Let's turn the page.
Vice President Harris, thank you. Let's move on.
President Trump.
She has a plan to not allow fracking in Pennsylvania or anywhere else.
Okay.
That's what her plan is until just recently.
I just need to
President Trump.
No, the
President
former
Trump.
president has said
No, I'm
something
sorry.
twice that I need to respond to.
I'm sorry. We're gonna move on, Vice
one
President
time
Harris.
to what he has
President
said
Trump, this is
multiple
now your third time running for president. You have long You never said you were going to vote Obamacare, quote, unless we can do something much better. Last month you said, quote, we're working on it. So tonight, 9 years after you first started running, do you have a plan, and can you tell us what it is?
Obamacare was lousy health care. Always was. It's not very good today. And what I said, that if we come up with something, and we are working on things, we're going to do it, and we're going to replace it. But remember this. I inherited Obamacare because Democrats wouldn't change it. They wouldn't vote for it. They were unanimous. They wouldn't vote to change it. If they would have done that, we would have had a much better plan than Obamacare. But the Democrats came up. They wouldn't vote for it. I had a choice to make when I was president. Do I save it and make it as good as it can be, never going to be great, or do I let it rot? And I felt I had an obligation, even though politically it would have been good to just let it rot and let it go away. I decided, and I told my people, the top people, and they're very good people. I have a lot of good people in that administration. We read about the bad ones. We had some real bad ones too, and so do they. They have really bad ones. The difference is they get rid of them. But let me just explain. I had a choice to make. Do I save it and make it as good as it can be, or do I let it rot? And I saved it. I did the right thing. But it's still never going to be great, and it's too expensive for people. And what we will do is we're looking at different plans. If we can come up with a plan that's going to cost our people, our population, less money and be better health care than Obamacare, then I would absolutely do it. But until then, I'd run it as good as it can be run.
So just so you guys know, you still do not have a plan.
I have concepts of a plan. I'm not president right now. But if we come up with something, I would only change it if we come up with something that's better and less expensive. And there are concepts and options.
He has no idea what he's talking about. That's so sad, dude.
In the not too distant future.
Vice President Harris, in 2017, you supported Bernie Sanders' proposal to do away with private insurance and create a government-run healthcare system. 2 years later, you proposed a plan that included a private insurance option. What is your plan today?
Well, first of all, I absolutely support, and over the last 4 years as vice president, private health care options. But what we need to do is maintain and grow the Affordable Care Act. But I'll get to that, Lindsay. I just need to respond to a previous point that the former president has made. I've made very clear my position on fracking. And then this business about taking everyone's guns away. Tim Walz and I are both gun owners. We're not taking anybody's guns away. So stop with the continuous lying about this stuff. As it relates to the Affordable Care Act, understand, let's just look at the history to know where people stand. When Donald Trump was president, 60 times he tried to get rid of the Affordable Care Act. 60 times. I was a senator at the time when I will never forget the early morning hours when it was up for a vote in the United States Senate. And the late, great John McCain, who you have disparaged as being, you don't like him, you said, at the time because he got caught. He was an American hero. The late, great John McCain, I will never forget that night, walked onto the Senate floor and said, no, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't get rid of the Affordable Care Act. You have no plan. And what the Affordable Care Act has done is eliminate the ability of insurance companies to deny people with pre-existing conditions. I don't have to tell people watching tonight, you remember what that was like? Remember when an insurance company could deny if a child had asthma, if someone was a breast cancer survivor, if a grandparent had diabetes? And thankfully, as I've been vice president and we over the last 4 years have strengthened the Affordable Care Act, We have allowed for the first time Medicare to negotiate drug prices on behalf of you, the American people. Donald Trump said he was going to allow Medicare to negotiate drug prices. He never did. We did. And now we have capped the cost of insulin at $35 a month. Since I've been vice president, we have capped the cost of prescription medication for seniors at $2,000 a year. And when I am president, we will do that for all people, understanding that the value I bring to this is that access to health care should be a right and not just a privilege of those who can afford it. And the plan has to be to strengthen the Affordable Care Act, not get rid of it, pass this poll up in terms of where Donald Trump stands on that.
I want to move to an issue that's important for a lot
Made a mistake. At number one, John McCain fought Obamacare for 10 years. But it wasn't only him. It were all of the Democrats that kept it going. And you know what? We can do much better than Obamacare, much less money. But she won't improve private insurance for people, private medical insurance. That's another thing she doesn't want to get. People are paying privately for insurance that have worked hard and made money, and they want to have private. She wants everybody to be on government insurance where you wait 6 months for an operation that you need immediately.
President Trump, thank you. We have another issue that we'd like to get to that's important for a number of Americans, in particular younger voters, and that's climate change. President Trump, with regard to the environment, you say that we have to have clean air and clean water. Vice President Harris, you call climate change an existential threat. The question to you both tonight is, what would you do to fight climate change? And Vice President Harris, we'll start with you. 1 minute for you each.
Well, the former president said the climate change is a hoax. And what we know is that it is very real. You ask anyone who lives in a state who has experienced these extreme weather occurrences, who now is either being denied home insurance or it's being jacked up. You ask anybody who has been the victim of what that means in terms of losing their home, having nowhere to go. We know that we can actually deal with this issue. The young people of America care deeply about this issue. And I am proud that as vice president over the last 4 years, we have invested $1 trillion in a clean energy economy, while we have also increased domestic gas production to historic levels. We have created over 800,000 new manufacturing jobs while I have been vice president. We have invested in clean energy to the point that we are opening up factories around the world. Donald Trump said he was going to create manufacturing jobs. He lost manufacturing jobs. And I'm also proud to have the endorsement of the United Auto Workers and Sean Fain, who also know that part of building a clean energy economy includes investing in American-made products, American automobiles. It includes growing what we can do around American manufacturing and opening up auto plants, not closing them like happened under Donald Trump.
Vice President Harris, thank
It didn't happen under Donald Trump. Let me just tell you, they lost 10,000 manufacturing jobs this last month. It's going, they're all leaving. They're building big auto plants in Mexico, in many cases owned by China. They're building these massive plants, and they think they're going to sell their cars into the United States because of these people. What they have given to China is unbelievable. But we're not going to let that. We'll put tariffs on those cars so they can't come into our country, because they will kill the United Auto Workers and any auto worker, whether it's in Detroit or South Carolina or any other place. What they've done to business and manufacturing in this country is horrible. We have nothing because they refuse. You know, Biden doesn't go after people because supposedly China paid him millions of dollars. He's afraid to do it. Between him and his son, they get all this money from Ukraine. They get all this money from all of these different countries. And then you wonder, why is he so loyal to this one, that one, Ukraine, China? Why did he get $3.5 million from the mayor of Moscow's wife? Why did she pay him $3.5 million? This is a crooked administration, and they're selling our country down the tubes.
President Trump, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with closing statements from both of our candidates. An historic night, this ABC News presidential debate from Philadelphia. Back in a moment.
This is...
Understand.
Here again, David Muir and Lindsay Davis.
Welcome back tonight. The time has come for closing statements, and Vice President Harris, we begin with you.
So I think you've heard tonight two very different visions for our country. One that is focused on the future, and the other that is focused on the past, in an attempt to take us backward. But we're not going back. And I do believe that the American people know we all have so much more in common than what separates us. And we can chart a new way forward. And a vision of that includes having a plan, understanding the aspirations, the dreams, the hopes, the ambition of the American people, which is why I intend to create an opportunity economy, investing in small businesses, in new families, in what we can do around protecting seniors, what we can do that is about giving hardworking folks a break and bringing down the cost of living. I believe in what we can do together that is about sustaining America's standing in the world and ensuring that we have the respect that we so rightly deserve, including respecting our military and ensuring we have the most lethal fighting force in the world. I will be a president that will protect our fundamental rights and freedoms, including the right of a woman to make decisions about her own body and not have her government tell her what to do. I'll tell you, I started my career as a prosecutor. I was a DA, I was an attorney general, a United States senator, and now vice president. I've only had one client, the people. And I'll tell you, as a prosecutor, I never asked a victim or a witness, are you a Republican or a Democrat? The only thing I ever asked them, are you okay? And that's the kind of president we need right now. Someone who cares about you and is not putting themselves first. I intend to be a president for all Americans and focus on what we can do over the next 10 and 20 years to build back up our country by investing right now in you, the American people.
Vice President Harris, thank you. President Trump?
So she just started by saying she's going to do this, she's going to do that, she's going to do all these wonderful things. Why hasn't she done it? She's been there for 3.5 years. They've had 3.5 years to fix the border. They've had 3.5 years to create jobs and all the things we talked about. Why hasn't she done it? She should leave right now, go down to that beautiful White House, go to the Capitol, get everyone together and do the things you want to do, but you haven't done it, and you won't do it because you believe in things that the American people don't believe in. You believe in things like we're not going to frack, we're not going to take fossil fuel, we're not going to do things that are going to make this country strong, whether you like it or not. Germany tried that, and within 1 year they were back to building normal energy plants. We're not ready for it. We can't sacrifice our country for the sake of bad vision. But I just ask one simple question. Why didn't she do it? We're a failing nation. We're a nation that's in serious decline. We're being laughed at all over the world. All over the world, they're laughed. I know the leaders very well. They're coming to see me. They call me. We're laughed at all over the world. They don't understand what happened to us as a nation. We're not a leader. We don't have any idea what's going on. We have wars going on in the Middle East. We have wars going on with Russia and Ukraine. We're going to end up in a third world war, and it'll be a war like no other because of nuclear weapons, the power of weaponry. I rebuilt our entire military. She gave a lot of it away to the Taliban. She gave it to Afghanistan. What these people have done to our country, and maybe toughest of all, is allowing millions of people to come into our country. Many of them are criminals, and they're destroying our country. The worst president, the worst vice president in the history of our country.
President Trump, thank you. And that is our ABC News presidential debate from here in Philadelphia at the National Constitution Center. I'm Lindsay Davis.
And I'm David Muir. Thank you for watching here in the U.S. and all over the world, and from all of us here at ABC News. Good night.
And welcome back to NBC News coverage of the debate. Pick your adjective. I would go with fiery to begin, but it goes from there. Both the candidates, you could argue, executing on their strategy going in for Kamala Harris. That was to get under the former president's skin, which she did quite often. For the former president, his option was, of course, to go after the economy, after Afghanistan, the administration's position on the withdrawal in Afghanistan, and immigration, of course. This is exactly what they wanted. The question is how they got there, and along the way, I think.
Well, people are going to be talking about this debate for a long time. And is this the final debate? Is this the only one we're going to see? Will there be another? Well, it depends on how each candidate feels they did tonight. Let's bring back our moderator, Meet the Press, Krista Walker, our senior Washington correspondent, Hallie Jackson. Boy, do we have a lot to chew over here. I mean, let's talk about, first of all, it does seem that Kamala Harris was trying to hit every trigger point she could think of to try to get Donald Trump to respond to her and to kind of fall and to bait him into that trap. Do you think it was effective?
Well, let's just name a few. Abortion, January 6th. His former officials who are now critical of him. John McCain, which is a big trigger point.
His rally size.
His rally size, one of the biggest ones that gets under his skin. One of his allies said she clearly tried to get under his skin. He's being defensive way too much. He's losing his answers. For example, instead of border czar, we had eating pets. Of course, that theory that Springfield officials in Ohio are saying there's no proof that undocumented immigrants are eating pets, something that we've heard from Trump and his campaign.
I don't care about their analysis. I have my own personal opinion, but goddamn, that was beyond sad. Anyways, I just wanted to no, fuck.
阴阳辟邪，妖孽退散。物不能视，轻则不信。有客言道，务必留下消化。
What the fuck? There's so much up here to go. Also, it's good to know it was y'all. Holy fuck！
老友，先前在黄风岭一无所获，来到这小西天，拜过了佛爷爷才知。不走了。虽说家中大王遭难，危急，佛爷爷说的对。想当年，我家大王也曾在佛地修行。如今我皈依佛门，我劝老友。 想当年，如今我皈依，我劝老友。
Oh, well, nice. Stamina. Nope.
想当年，我家大王也曾。
Whoa. That's neat. Your little beast. Am I in fight mode? Let me use it.
你是人是鬼？这么多年，我日日为你诵经，可你还是要索我性命吗？你有岂会知我动手时是何等心痛？你既愿赌未消，我佛慈悲，便再超度你一回。
What the heck?
回哪儿去？
Fuck off, bro. You know what? I don't understand how to use this. Yeah, this is lame. Yo, clown. I don't ever use yo. Dang, I took all your non-peoples. Oh shit, it's 10. My god. Don't tell me there's another freaking boss all the way over here. That's a meditation spot. Oh, this isn't a meditation, it's a pill place. Pills here. Stamina? Yeah, boy. Oh, he's there then. For no fucking reason. Other than I'm being spiteful. You can lose. You okay? You missed that time? Seems like that was it. Get fucked. How's that for you, stupid Tommy? How's this? Three blind meats. What? Just level me up. Level me up. Level me up. Level me up. Leveled up. Thunder Flame Seal Curios. Wait, how did I get that? Mama. Excuse me. I just think that's funny. Nope.
What? 世人总说人妖殊途，再见到他，我才知道，怕妖的人比妖更可怕。
Wow. There's no way I missed this guy back here. How the fuck? He's literally right there. How did I miss that? I literally came this way.
理无视，非礼勿听，你这小儿教我雅兴。
Damn, he is weak. What? No. Why are you being such a crybaby for? That's because he's old.
非吃一颗虚狗老弟炼制的还魂丹药不行啊！哎呦！你怎么还在疼？你怎么疼？疼？
Where's the Sharn?
不出户，知天下，不窥有，见天。天道，好汉，别来无恙。察天地动静之机，探日月盈虚之妙，当地造化一心。不消说，定是那老头欺负你了。好汉莫怪罪，我两个是旧相识，他的脾气我再熟悉不过。这老龙神力仍在，就是馋我的丹了，拿去给他便是。
哎呦嘿，孺子可教，孺子可教。得此丹药，便有了开启那宝地的法力。这华中圣境，乃是我等合力打造的世外桃源。猴子既归位，六丁六甲也当重聚了。哈哈哈哈哈哈！
What the heck is this? Painted round. Hey! Hey. Alright, this will be the last thing I freaking do, cause goddamn.
金丹之道，炼己为先。哎呀，多谢好汉，多谢好汉呐！此地风水极好，往后好汉可按时来收取丹药，是为夺天地之秀气，采日月之华精。
哦，
吃药，吃药。若论出身，更不公道。
Who's this freaking guy?
不久天。 嘻嘻，本以为再也如此逼视。啊，喝，小老弟今日弄点什么？小老弟切记，1分醉酒，10分醉得。现在我等兄弟姊妹往来无碍了。嘿，莫小瞧了我等。 这一路的艰难险阻，若是无我等相助，你怕是也难走到头。此地轻易，老夫是看你。
Wow, how generous. Seeds? I have seeds? Oh, wasn't I complaining about this like a while ago?
余生在此安身，叫我倚靠何人养老？
Wow.
如此也好，闲谈误事。
A smith?
闲话少提，我没兴趣。既然来了，我便帮你把那身破铜烂铁换换。
What? That's literally perfect for me, but I suck at using that attack. Vengeful Mirage. What the fuck is Vengeful Mirage? Celestial Ribbon. I have to use fine gold thread to upgrade those? Hell no. Got your mind. Run them hands, boy.
打好了，手痒得很，正愁没人来试。话说前头，我这刀铜胶铁铸，
I don't give a fuck.
概不负责。
This is a hand worth wielding. Oh, that's two? Oh. You need a pause. Run them! Oh, what? Run it again. Oh shit, I didn't mean to skip it. Even though I'm just holding it down. Run it again.
一身破了。六丁六甲，从不吃素，跟他比，你还差得远。
Wait, what?
练好了再来。
Wait, he didn't kill me though. Run them back.
中看不中。
Guess he would've. I see. Bam! Run it back. There's no way, bro. You need to stop predicting and start reacting.
又来了。
Hey, bro, you're gonna kill me there. Okay, you don't need a fucking cutscene to kill me, bro. That's so fucking lame.
一身破烂。
Okay, bitch. No.
破风如刀。突偏。 接住了。
No, okay. Now I'm just getting fucking mad about these damn cutscene attacks.
中看不中。
Here we want it. They always get me when I'm trying to use that fucking plug. Alright, this will be the last one. If I don't get it here, it's whatever. I'm tired as fuck and I don't want to deal with this. No way. Of course, that was in the last fucking try, goddamn. Mine. Give me that shit. Thank you, Shifu. The fuck, bro?
又来了，快让我捶两下子。
Quit more curious?
打扮的俊，身手跟得上吗？好衣不都烂肉，似这般恰好。善战者不败，你且放心去。披挂。
You fucked up when I... Oh my god. What the fuck, bro? Whatever. I don't even need to fight you right now. Fuck. Piss me off.
嗯，老夫伺候了别人一辈子，也该享清福了。嘿嘿，余生在此安身。
That's cool. No, man. I one-shot them. I'm gonna leave them alone. I don't know that this was a thing here. Why did I play for so long? This is a stupid debate. I was gonna be done by the time my girlfriend got home. Now it's say 2+ hours, and now she's sleeping, and here I am. I'm gonna do this now. Bye.